Hi, I'm Rhiannon Faith, and I'm here to tell you a story. This is a special Mother's Day edition. This morning, as we were leaving church, at the end of the service, the pastor gave a guidance recommendation that we share with the moms in our lives why specifically they're special. And I thought it would be kind of fabulous to memorialize that in video and share it more broadly than just with those special moms. So I'm going to start with my mom because that seems like a great place to start. So my mom, Nancy Chadwick Devine, is fantastic and always been so creative and loving and engaging, and really encouraged my sister and I in particular when we were little to use creativity and develop our imaginations. And so she had this wonderful way of taking very little and turning it into a grand adventure. And she was always searching for that deal opportunity. We went to tons of different shows and events and things, and I know we didn't have the money for them. She leveraged her student discounts in every way she possibly could. We got into tons of different dress rehearsals instead of the primary show, which was equally wonderful, and saw musical acts and plays and all of those different things. But we also had everyday things like going on scavenger hunts or developing our little world within our baby dolls. She took us to the library a ton. We did lots and lots of reading and reading times, but arts and crafts and cooking and all those fun things that really formed a very imaginative, creative childhood. And that is just who she is as a person. She's continued those things all throughout her adulthood and continuing into grandmotherhood, and shared those same kind of wonderful moments with the grandkids. So thank you very much, Mom. I very much appreciate all of your creativity and energy and just unabashedly who she is, which I appreciate a great deal. And from that, then I'll hop over to her mom, who's no longer with us, Grandma Moyers. She was cut from the same cloth. She was a mom of 5, grandmother of a lot of grandchildren, and always with that, 50s mom at home, kind of baking, cooking, sewing, knitting, crocheting. We always got homemade somethings from Grandma at Christmas and our birthday, and she had to have spent, there were a lot of grandkids, but she must have spent the better part of the year making all of these different things for us by the time it was Christmas or our birthday. And so some of my favorite things I've ever had, Grandma Moyers made for me. My Perry dog, which I got when I was 3, and then she remade for me when I was a senior in high school because I had lost him due to some unfortunate circumstances. But I had an Afghan that was always on my bed. Grandma Moyers made for me, and then she made dolls for my sister and her Budsy Bear, and dolls for my kids, and just all these wonderful mementos, quilts and the rest. She taught me how to knit and how to sew. She was constantly doing needlework. She had this fantastic tablecloth. So every holiday she'd pull out the tablecloth and you got to write kind of graffiti style something of yourself from that holiday. Sometimes just your name, everybody could choose what they put down, but it was kind of fun to add something that was representative of your position or station or interest in life at that time. And then she would go back over it. So we would put it down in colored pencil or markers, and then she would go back and do needlework to stitch it to keep it permanently as a part of the tablecloth. And so that was really a very cool memento where we got to sign her table more or less every time we were having a big meal together. And that was just one of a lot of things. She was always making sure we felt very special and loved, and just the quintessential grandma, exactly what you would think of when you imagine a grandma in your mind. That was Grandma Moyers. And then Grandmother Chadwick. I didn't have as close a relationship with her. She lived in Fallon, Nevada. She's no longer with us either. She lived in Fallon, Nevada, and had some health circumstances with stuff that was kind of burdensome for her, took a toll. But every time I was in her presence, I very much felt how much she loved me. And I loved watching how she interacted with my dad. So of course that was his mom, and that was her, her little boy, even though he was towering over her my entire life. There was something so unique and special about their relationship. Seeing my dad in that capacity with his mom, that really always, it was just such a cool thing. I'm going to get choked up if I talk about that more. And then Great Grandma Bonneville, absolute rock star of passing on a legacy of love within the family. Every Easter, birthday, Christmas, sometimes Halloween even, we would get a card from Great Grandma Bonneville and a check for $10 to $15. And some years when I was a kid, that was my birthday, was the check from Grandma Bonneville. And she was my dad's grandmother, but she just went above and beyond to keep track of everybody and make sure we always felt special and thought of. And so the year after she passed away, I took on the baton to share on behalf of her, sharing that legacy that she created. And I sent out a book, an age-appropriate book for each of the kids, the grandkids or great-grandkids as they were, some of them actually great-greats. And, on her behalf, keeping on the legacy from great-grandmother. And so for their birthday, thinking of them, because I figured it would be a hard first year for all of us, not having her around. And so that was very cool. Of course, I couldn't keep it up like she did. She was masterful. And so that was very cool. And my Aunt Linda has always been a special mom in my life. She is my dad's older sister. And so she kind of mothered him a lot, I'm sure, through their childhood. She's 7 years older. And since my dad's not here any longer, she, would come to his rescue a lot, even in adulthood. And so there were lots of times where we were all living with my Aunt Lynn and Uncle Fred, and she treated us as part of the fold, and, would do that aunt mothering situation of setting us straight and, giving us the what for when we got out of line, keeping us on the right path and holding us accountable. And those are all really important things, but also, was very supportive and encouraging in my walk with the Lord. Attended a number of Bible studies with her, my mom as well. But really cool to be able to share that with my aunt. And I lived with my aunt and uncle for a bit when I was pregnant with Cheyenne. And so, they got a lot of extra momming time. She got a lot of extra momming time while I was there for that. And then Nancy Scheibel. Nancy Scheibel was a special mom in my life all through high school. I think I met Nancy when I was 11. My dad his first architecture job was with her husband, Jim, and Nancy Scheibel and my mom, Nancy Chadwick at the time. They worked together at a couple of different jobs, and so the Nancys, they were in sales. But Nancy Scheibel, mom of 5, grandma of a number of kiddos. Back then she was grandma of 1. She always just opened her home, her and her husband Jim. Their home was the hot spot to be, and we spent summers there, and then we lived with them, my sister and I, for part of my freshman year of high school. She actually was the first adult that I told that I was pregnant when I was pregnant with Cheyenne, because I needed to bounce it off somebody. But, always gave us the, hey, if you're ever in a bad spot, just call, we'll come and get you. No matter where you're at, we'll talk about it later. But we'll make sure you're safe and at home. And so I very much appreciated that, and just her love, for all of us, unconditionally. It was a beautiful thing. And then countless other moms that have been mom companions, mom friends that have come alongside me and encouraged me in my mom journey. My girlfriend Ravonda, I love you so much. Always been there as just an encouragement in my walk with the Lord, and standing alongside my kids and praying for my kids, which I can't tell you enough how much that means to me. Those are priceless gifts when people come alongside and pray over your kids with you and for you. My girlfriend Sherry, I love you. same sort of situation, how are your kids? What's going on with you? How can I encourage you, love on you? Jamie Matthews, amazing. And same kind of thing, just a bright, vibrant energy, always seeing positive in a situation and encouraging, and just, she's a wonderful mom, supporting her daughter, and so much speaking of life into her and those around her. And so I always feel so blessed by her. And Kelly Malky, thinking of you, a wonderful mom friend of mine who has mom journeyed with me through a lot of stuff. And I'm just so grateful for her friendship and encouragement and voice of reason and patient listening. And I know there are countless others that have come alongside me in the mom journey. In the life journey, a very special mom also, but not so much in the momming, but just being my cousin, Anna. I love you so much, and your mom journey and watching you grow as a woman of God and as a mom has just been so cool. And I'm so blessed that I'm not just your friend, but family. You're one of my favorite people. And so I love you so much. And my sister, Kristen, who, her mom journey, she's a little bit younger in her mom journey, but she is so devoted to her kids and absolutely loves her boys, and it's a madhouse. And I can't imagine, my kids are all really spectacularly spread out, and hers are all real close together. And so I know sometimes she's feeling discouraged that, gosh, it's chaos and it wasn't like this for you. Yeah, my kids were all kind of independent before the next one showed up on the scene, and that was not her story at all. And so her boys are all wonderful, wild boys. They're rambunctious and adventuring, but they know how loved and supported they are by their mom. And I think that's really the most important thing that we can do for our kids. And so being a mom is definitely one of my favorite things. I don't know that I would call it an accomplishment, but it is a thread of who I am. And I guess I was kind of always destined to be a mom, although that wasn't something I specifically set out that, oh gosh, well, I'm going to have to be a mom. I guess I just always expected that I would be. But my life certainly changed the moment I found out I was pregnant with Cheyenne. And I wouldn't change it for anything. Obviously, I chose one of the more challenging paths and journeys for motherhood. I don't recommend it. It's not for the faint of heart, and it would have been cool to do a less complicated version, but because of the way it went, Cheyenne and I have a really close relationship, and I've been blessed with each of my kids, Cheyenne and Caitlin and Charlie. And because of their age range differences, they've each gotten some really specific, special one-on-one time because the others were on different legs of their journey simultaneously. So it was crazy when I had one in high school and one in preschool with another in the middle. That was quite a time. There are times I look back and go, how in the world did I survive that? Just, okay, who am I talking to? Did you need your bottom wiped, or are you trying to borrow the car? Get out of the refrigerator. There was a lot of juggling of the different levels and making sure to parent each of them for who they are, not what I expected them to be or who their sibling is, because they were all different and unique in their own way, and still are forging their own paths and journeys. And so as their mom, it's just my privilege to be able to come alongside them and cheer them on and tell them things they don't want to hear, love them enough to tell them the truth, not necessarily what they want to hear from me, but what I really think about situations, but doing so in a way that reflects the love that I have for them and the value I see in each of them. So I hope you enjoyed it. Just a little shout out, showcase to some of the special moms. Forgive my very red face. I enjoyed some sun over the last week, and it shows. So shout out to all those moms. Any of those I forgot, yeah, you know that I love you, and I hope you're enjoying this very special Mother's Day. All right, come back again and I'll tell you another story. Thanks.